So I'm back to do another video for my son. This one's a little bittersweet. I'm gonna branch off for a second. Earlier this week I was assaulted, so I really didn't want to post, but one of my friends motivated me to, so I can keep my mind off of it. I did find the ultrasounds after looking through like 15 boxes and whatever. So I'm gonna try to do as much as I can. My face does hurt a little bit. I'm just gonna try to speak through it. And if I move funny, it's because I have some slight bruising on my arms. But that was just to explain if you just see me moving weird. But to go ahead and stop rambling, I did find the ultrasounds. When I found out I was pregnant with my son, it was on June 18th, 2014. I was actually in the emergency room with my sister and one of her friends. And we got an ultrasound that night. And it was kind of bittersweet because I had just had a miscarriage. But, I just embraced it as it was. And I was like, hey, God's giving me another chance. So when I found out that day, I didn't know whether to be happy, sad, or what to be because I was just in shock. I was living in Houston at the time, and let's just say pregnancy and Houston heat, they don't mix for me. So I ended up coming back to Atlanta. My first ultrasound after that was, mm, sorry, it was on July 23rd. And this is him when he was in all his littleness. And of course, he was too small for them to see any issues or anything going wrong. They gave me my due date and told me, I was going to come back, all the normal stuff. I was going to come back in a month. But because I was high risk, that kind of got moved up to me coming every 3 weeks. And I liked it because, I got to hear my baby's heartbeat a lot. And then we did another ultrasound. It was actually a minute before we did another one. We did another one on September 17th. And this was just to check on the baby. And I was actually 19 weeks and 5 days. And this is the visit that kind of, yeah, sorry about the nail. This is the visit that kind of changed everything because this is the visit. I'm trying to see if they show it. I'm sorry, I haven't looked at these ultrasounds in like a very long time. But it's like it's kind of showing on here. My son decided not to show either arm. Like you see his little body, but you don't see any arms. So they were a little skeptical that he was not going to have either arm. And, being pregnant, hormonal, and everything of the such, I went through all the emotions. What did I do wrong? Was it something I could have done to prevent this? And I'm going to tell you that now, if you are thinking that, even though I think I said it in the last video, I can't really remember. That was like a couple weeks ago. Don't blame yourself. It's something that I learned later was out of my control during my first trimester. Well, this is what they're alleging so far. They still don't know truly how it happened. We're still going through the genetic specialist, through, the children's hospital, because they're still trying to figure out what happened because my son was born with three, birth differences. I'm not going to say defects. And even though they're all common, it's very rare that they all happen together in one pregnancy, especially in a single birth. So that's why we still don't know the true cause. I'm just going off what they've told me so far. So I had to go to perinatal September 19th, so 2 days later. And that's when they found one arm, but they didn't find the other. I have ultrasounds for days. I'm sorry. I don't even have all the ultrasounds. I just stopped looking after I had found so many. And in this one, yeah, these get bigger. The top one, you can see his little fist balled up. And then the bottom one was where you could really tell, like, there's one arm and there's a little nub at the top where the other one's supposed to be. And that's when they told me, okay, we found one and here's the other one. Sorry for people who don't really understand ultrasounds. Mommies get it. And little nose and stuff. They told me, we found one, but we didn't find the other one. So it's a 80% chance that, it's not there. Unless he's really good at hiding it, there is no arm for us to find. So, not gonna lie, I went back to my mom and his dad and I told them, and I kind of got mixed messages from them. Like my mom was saying it's okay and everything. Oh, I'm sorry, I jumped forward. The thing that literally hurt my heart in the hospital that day when I was at perinatal was because my child was different. They had to ask me by law, and I'm trying not to get upset because I got upset that day, but it's understandable. If I wanted to continue the pregnancy or end it, they said they have to ask me because I have to have that choice because my child was born under the category of, children who fall under Down syndrome, missing limbs, um, different defects. Like, even if you're outside of that whole abortion phase, you technically make the quota to get a late term abortion. And it kind of hurt my heart because it's like, my baby's, he's missing an arm, but hey, I still have him. Like, through all my miscarriages, he could be born with no arms, no legs, but he'll be born breathing. He'll be someone I can look at every day. So, yeah, I'm going to continue the pregnancy. And I think I kind of offended her that day. And I ended up going back to her, like, because my mom was with me at the appointment. And then my mom went to work, and I ended up going back up there because I had left my ultrasound pictures. And I had talked to her and everything, and I just told her, like, I didn't understand why she asked me, and she explained it to me more in depth. Like, if they don't ask you and give you that choice, then it's considered malpractice, and she can be sued because that's considered forcing someone to stay pregnant. Mind you, this is what she told me. I don't have a degree to know all of that. Don't know all the malpractice issues, loopholes, and all that. Not gonna pretend that I do. So after I found that out, we started preparing for him. And I'm just gonna go off on a tangent for a second. Like, I started seeing the doctors so freaking often that it bothered me. Like, these aren't even close to how many ultrasounds I have. And these aren't including the ones I've already showed you. Like, I saw perinatal every 2 weeks, and I saw my regular doctor every 3 weeks. So I spent majority of my pregnancy in someone's doctor's office. I'm so glad I had insurance, because if I had to pay that out of pocket, I would go crazy. But they continued throughout my pregnancy to check on things, and in October, they still didn't find the other arm, and I just told them stop looking for it. But you can see, he's sucking his thumb on his one hand that he has, and he does, the weird faces that I love this picture so much, even though it's so weird looking. After that, the next one I found, this one is from November 11th, 2014. They just wanted to check and make sure, because he had issues with his hand and they thought it was amniotic band syndrome, which they still do. Was there any possibility of anything with his feet? And that's where I got this loveliness, where I got a picture of both his feet, and they were perfect. They kick me all the time. So yeah, and him sleeping, and oh, this one is of his heart. Like you can't really tell because when it was moving, I just wanted this one because I liked it. So that one isn't even actually from November. JK. This one is from December 9th. And I was 31 weeks and 3 days. So got some other ultrasounds I gotta find. But for the purpose of this video, I don't really think y'all need to see all of them. It's just my baby growing. And then this is the day this was the third day we went back to them because at this point, December, I was on every 9 days. I saw my doctor. So every week and a half, I was seeing her. And I was just like, at this point, I was annoyed, but we tried to do the 3D pictures. And that's when we didn't know it. But looking back on it and then how he was born, you could tell this was day 3 of us trying it, where you can see his face is I'm sorry about this. His face is very asymmetrical and his nose is kind of tilted. We didn't know at that time that, he was missing a cheekbone or anything. And, these are some other ones our failed attempts from that day of us trying to do it. I like them. Hey, they're my kid. And then the last one we did, I'm just going to show it because I'm like, hey, it's in the stack, was on December 30th. Oh, I remember this one. This one, I changed my doctor's appointment because on New Year's Eve, I wanted to go to the Peach Drop. Yeah, wasn't the smartest decision pregnant, but I had never been. And I couldn't see myself going after I had him for a really long time. So I at least wanted to do it once where we could go together while he was still itty bitty. What better time than when I was pregnant? Boy, I learned my lesson. So I had moved my doctor's appointment up. And this one, it only shows his face. And then it shows him playing with his fingers. And the bottom one, I don't know if you can tell. I mean, some moms can. That one's just the side of his face. But after that, I had one more ultrasound, and then she was just asking me. She was like, "Do you even want to keep coming back? Because at this point, you're about to give birth." And I just decided no. I'm like, at this point, it's stupid for my insurance to keep paying for it when all we're doing is seeing the same thing every week. He still only has one arm. Still didn't find another one. And at that one, because I was I was applying for his insurance or getting ready for it, and because of what was going on, they needed a letter, which is so stupid to me because I showed them the ultrasounds, but I guess saying what was wrong with him. So that's when I got this lovely letter, and I'll read it. It says, to whom it may concern, the unborn male child of me has an abnormality of the left arm where there is a partial humerus in the absence of the lower forearm and hand. The child will need orthopedic care once it's born. She will continue to be under care of our office. For high-risk pregnancy, feel free to contact us if you have any questions. And that's from my lovely doctor. And she was awesome. I'm just going to call her Dr. L because I'm not going to put her name out there. And I don't know, it was very weird. When I was pregnant, very few people knew about what was going on with my pregnancy because the few people that I started to tell in the beginning, it was, I told my mom, I told his dad, I told a couple of my coworkers because the day after it happened, I had to go to work, and it was very painful for me. I literally cried that whole day at work, and they made me feel better. And then I started to tell family, and that's when I got pissed off because I had family members asking me, well, what did you do wrong? I'm sorry. That is not the word someone wants to hear when they're already overwhelmed, one, and when they're pregnant, two. Like, no one ever wants to hear that. And it kind of hurt my heart because it's like, oh, y'all were so caring and loving before. And now it's the shame game. And, oh, well, this must be happening because of this. Like, you must have really done something bad for. And I'm just like, dude, like, can you let me deal and not add to it? But that's just what people do. Um, the first time I think I told friends, and it wasn't even that many, was, well, outside of my church group because they didn't know. At my baby shower, after everyone had got there and everyone had eaten and everything, my mom told me, you should tell them so they're not shocked. I mean, they took this time to honor you of coming out here to celebrate your baby. So I told them, and you know they they had mixed messages. How they were talking to me like, oh, you're so strong, but the way they looked was like, oh my gosh, her life is gonna be so horrible. Some others like really did care, and then after my son was born, they came to the hospital, like friends who I've been cool with since literally like the sixth grade. And I didn't even think, like, we're grown now, we all have our own lives, but they literally have been there for me since my son was in my belly. I don't want to make this video super long, but I guess I'll talk about his birth and everything in the next video and get into like the grimy and the nastiness in that one. This one mainly was to go over my pregnancy, so sorry if I rambled a lot. Share it if you liked it, or if you know someone going through something like this, because everyone needs support somehow, some way. And I think if I would have had more support while I was pregnant, maybe, just maybe, I would have had more knowledge of everything and it would not have been such a shell shock when I had him. Well, have a great night. It's nighttime here. See you soon.